It was the middle of the night on my 25th birthday when the pounding started at my apartment door in Portland. 3 sharp knocks turned into furious thuds that shook the frame. I froze at the kitchen sink, dish in hand, the Thai food leftovers from my quiet celebration still on the counter. Ethan had left hours earlier for an early court date, and my colleagues from the trauma center had gone home. The clock read 12:07. Something in those knocks sent ice through my veins before I even heard the voice. "Open the damn door." "Sophia." Daniel Vaughn's slurred roar cut through the wood like a blade. "My stepfather. Here. At my place." My hands went numb. The plate slipped and shattered on the tile. Through the peephole, I saw him swaying. Face flushed. Suit rumpled. Eyes wild with rage and whiskey. Behind him, barely visible in the hallway shadows, stood my mother, Laura, silent and small. I knew in that instant everything was about to explode. "Go away," I called, voice steadier than I felt. "You're drunk. Leave, or I'm calling the police." He laughed. "A ugly sound. Call them. I'll tell everyone how you've been poisoning your mother's mind, sending her lies about me." I dialed 911 with shaking fingers. But before the operator answered, he kicked once, twice, 3 times. The door splintered. He burst in like a storm, grabbing my hair before I could run. The pain was blinding. He dragged me toward the hallway as I clawed at his grip, feet scrambling. "You little traitor," he growled. "Think you can turn her against me?" My hip slammed the wall. I tasted blood from biting my tongue. In the chaos, I remembered my phone had hit the floor face up. I'd managed to trigger the emergency SOS. Help was coming, but not fast enough. He hauled me past open doorways. Mrs. Patterson from 4B stood in her nightgown, eyes wide. The louse from 4D peeked through their chain. College kids from 4F clutch takeout, frozen. Even Tom, the security guard, lingered at the stairs. 5 people. 5 chances to stop this. "Help me," I screamed. "Call the police." Mrs. Patterson's door clicked shut. The louse retreated. The kids backed away. Tom just watched. Daniel dragged me down the stairs, my shoulder popping against the railing. Pain exploded white-hot. Through the lobby, out the front doors, onto the wet lawn. Grass soaked my clothes as he threw me down. Faces appeared in windows above, lit by street lamps, watching like it was a show. My mother stood at the building entrance. Our eyes met across the darkness. 20 years of fear lived in her gaze. She looked at the watchers, then at me, and turned back inside, closing the door softly behind her. He kicked my ribs once, twice. On the third, I heard the crack. Sirens wailed in the distance. Daniel leaned close, breath sour. "This isn't over." He ran to his car just as lights flashed. The police found me gasping on the grass, alone with silence and closed doors. 5 witnesses who saw everything. A mother who chose to see nothing. But I was alive, broken and betrayed, but done being afraid. To understand how we reached that night, you have to go back. I was 8 when my father died. Lung cancer moved fast. For months, from diagnosis to the sterile hospital room where Mom and I clung together, smelling antiseptic and loss. The years after were lean. Mom pulled double shifts at the credit union. I did homework at neighbors' houses. Dinners were often cereal. But we had each other. We'd huddle under a shared blanket watching old films, her stroking my hair, promising things would get better. I believed her. At 10, she smiled more. At 11, she mentioned Daniel Vaughn, the new customer at her branch. "He's different," she'd say. Cheeks pink. He was tall, polished, silver at the temples, smile that seemed genuine. He brought me books, took us to good restaurants, treated Mom like she mattered. The wedding was intimate. I was 12 in a soft blue dress Mom saved months for. Daniel knelt, looked me in the eyes. You're my daughter now. I'll take care of both of you. Gratitude filled me. Maybe this was what a father felt like again. The changes crept in slowly. So subtle, I wonder now if he mapped every step. First, the money. Let me handle the finances. Laura, you work hard enough. Mom agreed, relieved. Then, isolation. That book club clashes with family time. Those coworkers seem gossipy. One by one her world shrank. By 14, Mom dressed in muted colors he preferred. Spoke softer. Always checked his reaction first. When I asked what was happening, she'd smile tiredly. Daniel just wants the best for us. I spent every spare minute away from home. Library, clubs, friends' houses, anywhere the air didn't feel thick with his presence. Sometimes I'd catch him watching me, calculating. You're dramatic, Mom said when I tried to warn her. He loves us. He provides. Freedom was what I wanted. The right to exist without permission. At 15, I heard him truly yell for the first time. Dishes flew. A glass shattered. Mom froze. He didn't strike her that night, but the threat lingered. I became expert at reading the storm signs. Jaw clench. Tone shift. A car in the driveway that made us both tense. I found the first bruise accidentally. Mom reached for a bowl. Sleeve slipped, revealing purple fingerprints on her arm. I bumped the door, she said too quickly. We both knew the lie. After that I saw them everywhere. Shadows under makeup. Winces when sitting. Long sleeves in heat. One night when he was out I begged her. We need to leave. Shelters exist. I've researched. Her eyes filled with terror. You don't understand. He said he'd find us. Focus on school. Sophia. Please. So I did. Grades became my escape ladder. Every A step toward freedom. Scholarships my prayers. I joined everything. Stayed late. Minimized time in that house where walls seemed to close in. My guidance counselor noticed the drive. Everything okay at home? The words crowded my throat, but I swallowed them, thinking of Mom's fear. How much worse it could get. Just want a good college, I said. Senior year the acceptance arrived. Full ride to Portland State. I clutched it like a lifeline. Crying in the bathroom stall. At dinner Daniel said flatly, You're not going. Family stays together. Community college here. Mom stayed silent. I just turned 18. Legally, he couldn't stop me. The night before I left, I begged her once more in my room amid boxes. Come with me. We can vanish. She pulled away. He'd find us. Save yourself. Sophia. Be happy. One of us should be. She looked decades older than 43. Go. Don't look back. Maybe someday. Next morning while he was at work, she stood in the doorway trying to smile. I hugged her, memorizing lavender shampoo he hadn't banned yet. I love you. Be brave, she whispered. As the bus pulled away, she shrank to a speck. I promised silently. I'd build a life and someday get her out. I breathed deep for the first time in years. 7 years in Portland remade me. Masters in clinical psychology. Cozy apartment in the Pearl District. Work at North Lake Trauma Center helping domestic violence survivors. Each victory easing old helplessness. I found love with Ethan. A human rights attorney. Gentle and steady. He knew my past. Held me through nightmares of shattering glass. He proposed over coffee in bed one rainy morning. I said yes. But Mom remained trapped. Twice monthly calls were monitored. Her voice bright but empty, talking gardens and weather. I sent shelter pamphlets hidden in cards. Hotline numbers coded as recipes. Nothing acknowledged. Then 3 weeks before my birthday, the late call came. Sophia. Her whisper raw with fear. He found the pamphlet. He's going to teach me a lesson about secrets. Crash in background. Line died. For 3 days silence. Finally she called from work claiming she overreacted. I knew better. Danger had escalated. I planned furiously, shelters, lawyers, therapist, deposit on nearby apartment. I'm coming for you, I told her on the next call. Be ready. She agreed weakly. Saturday, 2 hours into the drive, she called again. Voice formal. Don't come. I'm staying. Respect my decision. I heard him breathing. Defeated. I turned around. 1 week before the night, everything shattered. The week leading to my birthday was heavy with dread. Ethan suggested a party, but I wanted quiet. We had Thai with a few trauma center colleagues. Wine. Forced cheer. After they left, I washed dishes, trying not to picture Mom making birthday cakes from scratch when life was simpler. Then the knocks came, and the nightmare began. But let's go back to how the darkness first entered. After Dad died, the house felt hollow. Mom's exhaustion was constant. When Daniel appeared, he seemed like light returning. Charming. Attentive. The controls started small and logical sounding. Finances made sense centralized. Social plans inconvenient. Friends draining. Mom's world narrowed without her fully noticing at first. By my mid-teens, the bruises appeared. She hid them, but I saw the pattern: long sleeves, turtlenecks, winces. The house smelled of tension. His car in the driveway triggered freeze responses in both of us. I researched shelters secretly, printed resources. Mom's terror when I showed her stopped me cold. He'll find us. Focus on your future. School became sanctuary. I pushed grades relentlessly. Counselors praised ambition, but sensed something deeper. I deflected. Acceptance letter was pure joy until dinner, when Daniel declared I wasn't leaving. 18 or not. Families stayed together. Mom's silence sealed it. That last night, I held her thin hands begging. She chose fear over escape, urging me to go alone. The bus ride to Portland felt like shedding skin. I arrived terrified but determined. Built routines, classes, part-time jobs, therapy for myself. Met Ethan through mutual friends at a fundraiser. His kindness was revolutionary after Daniel's calculation. Nightmares still came, but his arms grounded me. Work at North Lake gave purpose. Helping women leave cycles mirrored my own unresolved pain. Calls with Mom stayed superficial. I slipped resources anyway. Her voice always carried that hollow brightness. Then the panicked late-night call shattered the fragile peace. He found it. He's raging. Silence after. Days of agony followed until her dismissive follow-up. I knew denial was cracking under pressure. Planning the rescue consumed me. Coordinated safe houses. Legal consults with Ethan's firm. Therapist referrals. Apartment deposit. This weekend. I told her. She whispered agreement. 2 hours into the drive, her formal rejection came. I've decided to stay. Don't contact me about this. His breathing audible. I screamed alone on the shoulder. Turned back defeated. That was 1 week before the birthday that changed everything. The quiet dinner felt like performance. When knocks came, I knew deep down it was him. The splintering door confirmed it. His grip in my hair burned. Dragged through hallway past those watching faces. Mrs. Patterson's slow close. Louse chain lock click. Kids retreating. Tom motionless. Each inaction cut deeper than fists. Downstairs. Shoulder wrenching. Lawn cold and wet. Mother's silhouette choosing the door over me. Kicks cracking ribs. Sirens saving what neighbors wouldn't. In the ambulance, pain mixed with betrayal. Hospital tiles numbered 247. I counted repeatedly, waiting for x-rays. 2 cracked ribs. Dislocated shoulder. Bruises mapping violence. Doctor called me lucky. Ethan arrived frantic. Rage in his eyes as detective took statement. When I described the watchers, his fist clenched. Detective Rivera promised action. Pressing charges felt like the first real power I'd held. Mama's participant? Victim of 17 years. Yet she chose him again. Something hardened in me. Arrest came next morning at Daniel's office. Ethan's firm assigned prosecutor Jennifer Hale. Sharp and relentless. Not just assault. Patterns. History. That's when I decided to dig deeper. As trauma counselor, I recognized the signs. Called old neighbors. Searched for his ex-wife, Patricia. Patricia cried on the phone. Everyone loved Daniel. No one believed me. He destroyed my reputation. Got custody by lies. Former Secretary Maria hesitated over NDA but shared threatening emails after hearing my story. 6 women total emerged. Stories echoing. Isolation. Control. Violence hidden behind successful businessman facade. Private investigator uncovered hidden accounts. Embezzlement from mom's funds. Tax fraud. Money laundering. Jennifer's eyes lit. Enough to bury him. Social media post with bruised face photo went viral. My stepfather did this. Neighbors watched. Mother walked away. Silence is complicity. Hashtag exploded. Messages from survivors poured in. Unexpectedly, Tom the guard messaged apology. Offered testimony. One witness. Start. Mom called furious. You've ruined everything. He's suspended. Good. Help me put him away or go down with him. I hung up steady. War began. Courtroom buzzed with media. Advocates. Daniel in $1,000 suit. Lawyer Marcus Webb slick. Jennifer open strong. Evidence doesn't lie. Medical records. Footage. 6 women's testimonies. My 3-hour testimony laid bare manipulation. Control. Fear. Webb tried rattling. Resentment? I resented destruction of my mother. Unwanted materials? Domestic violence resources aren't harassment. Neighbors only one forward? Watching is easier than intervening. Patricia testified years of abuse disbelieved. Maria presented emails. Others added layers. Mom's testimony day 4 was pivotal. She looked frail in new dress. Hands shaking. Described how she called love. Financial control. Isolation. Careful violence, never hospital-worthy. He threatened to kill us both. I believed. Webb brutal on her denials. Walking away that night. I was coward. Chose fear over daughter. Detective revealed financial theft over $300,000. Fraud. Security footage showed dragging. Kicks. Mom turning away. New evidence. Car audio rant, that little bitch needs to learn like you did. Like Patricia. Jury deliberated 3 hours. Guilty all counts. Sentencing 2 weeks later, maximum 25 years, no parole. Daniel screamed revenge as led away. No one listened. Outside courthouse, reporters swarmed. I showed screenshots from building app. Drama again. Not our business. She provoked him. These 5 watched brutality and did nothing. Their silence made them complicit. Footage aired nationwide. Building flooded with calls. Mrs. Patterson moved. Louse transferred. Tom fired despite testimony. College kids apologized in person. We were scared. Fear is an excuse. Call 911. Reverberations spread. Portland Council held sessions on bystander training. Companies added reporting policies. Hashtag evolved into movement. 3 months later, I proposed to council mandatory intervention education in schools. apartments, workplaces, protections for interveners, penalties for failing to report violent crimes. We teach fire safety, but not what to do when someone burns. Measures passed unanimously. Mom moved into the nearby apartment, started trauma therapy, rebuilding slowly. Sunday dinners sometimes silent, sometimes tearful, always progress. Documentary interviewed us in my living room. Now reclaimed space. To women in abuse. Fear grows in silence, but shrinks when you speak. To witnesses. Silence is choice with consequences. Call for help. Refuse to let suffering happen alone. Response overwhelming. Patricia wrote, "You did what I couldn't. My daughter calls you hero." 6 months post-conviction, new position at Center, Director of Community Intervention Programs. Ethan brought coffee. Ready for unveiling statewide rapid response teams. Walking to conference, I reflected on that birthday night. The pain broke me but reformed me stronger. Daniel serving sentence. Mom healing. Silence breaking across state.
Country.
Best revenge transform system. Turns pain to purpose. Ensures next scream meets opening doors, not closing ones. 1 year later, Mom and I in her garden. Tomatoes. Herbs. Sunflowers growing with patience. When I closed that door, part of me died. I was coward. You deserved better. Can't undo, but promise to be present. Fighting. We held each other, surrounded by growth. Finally free. Testified together before Congress for Bystander Accountability Act. Mom on isolation, making victims invisible. Me on witnesses, nearly costing life. Bill passed 6 months later. Daniel's appeals denied. United Front of Women showed. Patricia's daughter inspired to law school. Maria started company fearless. Each transformed trauma to power. 5 years since that night. North Lake model nationwide. Trained 10,000 in intervention. Reports up 300%. Successful interventions saved lives. Mom leads support groups for older survivors. Never too late to break free. Ethan and I married in garden. Patricia officiated. Women from trial. Jennifer. Detective. Even reformed Tom attended. Scars on shoulder covered but not hidden. Proof of survival. Mom's speech moved all. My daughter saved me by refusing to let me disappear. Love sometimes demands better. Prison letter from Daniel Shaky. Sick with liver disease. Seeking forgiveness. We burned it watching smoke rise. Tomatoes ripe. Sunflowers tall. Everything toward light. Now, at 37, I run National Foundation for Survivor Advocacy. Mom hosts Sunday dinners for chosen family of survivors and advocates. Daniel dies in prison. Additional 15 years from financial trial. Not about him anymore. About 16-year-old emailing courage to report stepfather. Neighbor intervening on screams. Mother choosing children. Breaking silence. Building from wreckage. If trapped. Scared. Doubting belief, you're not alone. Voice matters. Greatest revenge ensures no one fights alone in dark. Silence broken. Now roar. The hospital was quiet except beeping monitors. 2 cracked ribs wrapped tight. Shoulder back in socket. Bruises blooming purple across torso and arms. I stared at ceiling, counting tiles repeatedly. Anything to avoid replaying Mom turning away. Ethan arrived disheveled, holding my hand through detectives' questions. Rage flickered each time neighbors mentioned. Rivera assured charges strong with injuries and 911 call. Pressing charges felt like reclaiming voice stolen years ago. Mom victim too, but choice that night shifted something permanent. Arrest swift. Jennifer Hale took case pro bono. Ambitious. Assault. Domestic violence. BNE. Stalking. Harassment. Patterns needed for real sentence. That's when other women surfaced. Patricia ex-wife broke down sharing custody loss through lies. Maria secretary provided saved threatening emails despite NDA. For more women from different periods echoed, gradual control, isolation, hidden violence, charming public mask. Investigator revealed financial crimes, embezzlement, fraud, laundering. Jennifer grinned. Destroy him. Viral post sparked flood of stories. Tom's message offered testimony. Mom's angry call revealed suspension. I challenged her choice. Courtroom tense. Opening statements set stage. My testimony raw, but steady. Cross-examination attempts failed against documented truth. Patricia. Maria. Others strengthened wall of evidence. Mom's stand heartbreaking yet powerful. Financial testimony sealed financial crimes separate trial. Footage devastating. New car audio recording damning. Deliberation quick. Guilty across board. Sentencing maximum. Daniel's mask gone. Vicious core exposed. Reporters heard neighborhood app comments proving complicity. Building repercussions swift. Evictions. Firings. Apologies. Council action. Corporate policies. Movement born. My proposal passed creating education mandates. Protections. Penalties. Mom integrated into new life. Therapy progress. Documentary amplified message nationally. Patricia's note touching. New role at center meaningful. Statewide program launch milestone. Garden conversation with mom cathartic. Promises exchanged. Congressional testimony impactful. Bill passage victory. Appeals defeated. Years later center transformed. Stats improved dramatically. Mom volunteers inspiring. Wedding intimate. Scars shown proudly. Speech profound. Letter burned symbolically. Foundation work ongoing. Story now about collective healing. Courage spread. Voice matters. Never alone. Looking back from today, the journey from that rainy Portland night to national advocacy feels both distant and immediate. The North Lake Trauma Center expanded programs nationwide, training thousands more. Bystander reports surged. Interventions saved lives repeatedly. Mom thrives leading groups, sharing without shame, becoming surrogate mother figure. Ethan and I built quiet life anchored by mutual respect. Garden remains place of growth and reflection. Chosen family dinners fill spaces once hollow with fear. Daniel's final years in prison irrelevant now. Impact lives in emails from teens finding courage, neighbors acting, mothers choosing children. Breaking silence wasn't just personal justice, but systemic shift. Legislation inspired. Culture changing slowly but surely. If reading because trapped, reach out. Help exists. Witnesses, your call can save. Silence, never neutral. Choose side of healing. Voice collective roar transforming pain into lasting purpose.